So for those of you who have asked, which is better, vitamin C or hydroquinone when it comes to the treatment of melasma? Well, according to some of the studies, but this one in particular, they took 16 female participants, and for 16 weeks, they all had to use sunscreen. But for 16 weeks, they had to apply on one side of the face is 5% vitamin C cream. And on the other side, it was 4% hydroquinone cream. So 62.5% saw more improvement on the side where they applied the ascorbic acid cream or the vitamin C cream. And 93% of the people saw more improvement when they used hydroquinone. So both sides, it was alone only. Just want to clarify, they didn't use it together. It was one side was vitamin C and the other side was hydroquinone. But the side effects were much less in the vitamin C. The vitamin C was only 6.2%, where the people that used the hydroquinone actually had more side effects. Actually, 68.7% of the people that had the hydroquinone on one side, they actually saw side effects. Now, it didn't actually break down the percentages of the different types of side effects, but it was everything from increased dryness all the way to graying of the skin or changing tones of the skin color. So vitamin C actually had a lot less side effects. Now, vitamin C alone is not as effective in depigmenting, so already existing pigmentation. It's not as effective as when it is paired together with a few other ingredients that actually helps lighten the pigmentation, where hydroquinone alone is more effective because it is actually skin bleaching agent, where vitamin C disrupts or interrupts a key role that's needed in creating the pigments. So it's more of a preventative measure, and it is less toxic, or in the article it actually said that vitamin C is not cytotoxic, so not toxic to skin cells. And this is why people recommend pairing vitamin C with hydroquinone because it's more of a lightening and a prevention. So if you're going to use vitamin C serum with hydroquinone, the best way to do it is apply the vitamin C, let that completely dry, and then apply the hydroquinone, let that completely dry, and then apply your sunscreen. Now, my recommendation is, especially since we're going into summer, is that if your hydroquinone cream is also paired with tretinoin, which can sensitize the skin and make your skin more prone to sunburn, I would recommend switching out the one that you have that has the tretinoin, or if you're using Retin-A as a separate step, that you discontinue the use of that during the summer and just do vitamin C serum, let that completely dry, then use the hydroquinone cream, let that completely dry, then apply your sunscreen. And just remember that vitamin C is really unstable, especially when exposed to light. So I do need to emphasize that the vitamin C is basically more of a prevention, and the hydroquinone is actually a skin bleaching agent. So those are the steps that you're going to use if you're going to use the vitamin C with the hydroquinone. Now, as far as the final step with the sunscreen during the day, most people who have hyperpigmentation or melasma, they tend to have darker skin. So they don't like the physical-based sunscreen. I totally get it. But what physical sunscreens can do is they actually are a natural anti-inflammatory ingredient. And so with dark skin, when it gets inflamed, which is including sun exposure, they are introducing reactive oxygen species, which can inflame the skin. For dark skin, they start to overpigment, is that the zinc oxide naturally reduces inflammation just like vitamin C does, where hydroquinone is not. So I always recommend a sunscreen, and I get it. I get that you don't want to look like Casper, but if you learn to work with it, or you use a physical-based sunscreen, not a combination one, so not one that has the zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, and a chemical-based sunscreen, because that can tend to inflame the skin at lower levels, is that when you use this, maybe you can layer it on top with a tinted moisturizer that also has the same SPF, if not more. So the one I always recommend, this one actually has the 21% zinc oxide, okay? And a lot of times when, and I'm going to do another video on this, is a lot of times when it's a sheer zinc oxide, it actually doesn't have as much protection on that. So this one is the oil-free, so there's an oil-free, and this one is the hydrating one. So both of them have a high amount, and it also has some plant-based lighteners in there, not hydroquinone, including one that actually converts to hydroquinone in the body. So it's like a hydroquinone alternative, or, you know, hydroquinone derivative. So if you don't want to use hydroquinone, you don't want to use tretinoin during the summer time, this is really good, and I recommend this for my clients. You can also use, if your skin is more on the dry, sensitive side, naturally, or because you're using tretinoin or retin-A, you can also use some vitamin C derivatives. And so I will be talking more about that in an upcoming video. So stay tuned, and remember, makeup is an art, skincare is a science.